Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, my friends. Hold on one second. I'm going to just share this into my lovely, awesome, amazing group. There we go. Okay. So I know this one was kind of a big topic that a lot of you were waiting for, very excited for this conversation. And hi, Bernadette. And I don't know what happened the other day. I kind of got like cut off in the middle of that conversation. So hopefully this time Spirit's going to be nice and is not going to cut it off. Maybe Spirit didn't want me to talk about it that day for whatever reason. I wonder why. I wonder why Spirit didn't want me to talk about ex relationships. Anyways, I don't know if I want to answer that question. Okay, so let's just do it today then. So today seemed to be the day. All right, so this is a really big topic, and why I'm doing this is because I posted a meme, I think it was last week or the week before, hey everybody, saying that giving a photo, it was a picture of a woman, I think it was a woman who had like all of these strings coming out of her body attached to another person, and it said something like, something a lot about like trying to detach my energy from ex-lovers, but we have soul contracts. So kind of saying that, like I want to break these energetic ties, but I'm totally attached with all these cords to this person or to these people because we have a soul contract. So I wanted to kind of clear that one up because it's really funny. And whenever I post memes about spirituality, I mean, I find the humor in all of it. I do not take all of this so seriously that I can't see the humor about it. Okay, so it's funny. And we feel like that. It's what's funny or interesting is the amount of comments that I got on that post, both on my personal page and in my group, Empowered Empath Woman, by the way. Awesome, amazing, super fucking love that group. So you're more than welcome to join us there. By the way, little side note, but there were so many comments like, oh my God, me too. I totally feel that way. I'm dealing with that right now. It's hell. Like, help me out, hook me up. Like, what do I do? So I was like, ooh, maybe this is a good topic for a video. Like when I do video, that means usually it's something that is talked about a bit in my groups, or I see it online, or I see it in other groups. This is a big one. And I see it in empath groups. I see it in psychic mediumship groups. I've really heard it on readings that I do with private clients. Like the relationship question and the energetic attachments is a big one. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you right out of the gate, it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm not about to come on here and say, oh yeah, it's super simple. You just, sage yourself and that's it. Wouldn't that be nice? But it's not an easy thing to do. So first of all, give yourself so much love, so much grace, and so much space to do this work because you're not crazy. You're not foolish. You're not an idiot. You're not, somehow broken inside. I mean, I know probably your friends are like, oh, like, just get over it already. Or like, any of your family members are like, oh my God, you're still like hooked onto that shit. Like, what is your problem? Or thinking that you have some sort of neuroses. Okay. So let's just give ourselves the space and love to say, no, this is a normal thing. Actually, this is not uncommon. And there are many different reasons for it. What I want to do is make clear that we know the difference between soul contracts and not, because that is where we can get really tricky and where it can get really unhealthy. So you all know, if you're hanging out with me, you know that I like to keep the spiritual journey and the consciousness journey as simple as possible, right? That doesn't have to be difficult. The Spirit didn't send us here to torture us. And so making it simple and really giving you the confidence to go about your journey in the way that's right for you, and really moving through some of the blocks that come up in our human existence. So we're all human, we're all going through this. So just love ourselves for that. But knowing the difference between a soul contract and not is a really helpful thing, because we can go down a rabbit hole that maybe we don't even have to go down. And it's just a matter of looking in another direction. So let's talk about, first of all, why do you feel energetically tied to people in relationships? Well, Everyone you come into contact with, you have some sort of an energetic tie with. And I truly believe that a soul contract or karmic relationships, I believe that everybody that comes into our life is there for a reason. Everybody. The ones that make us happy, the ones that we have trouble with, everyone. We are meant to come across each other. We're meant to be in each other's space, even if it's for a small amount of time or it's for years and years. And the reason is because we're teaching each other things. We agreed in the spiritual world, this is what a soul contract can be. Soul contract can be a few things. One of them is that in the spiritual world, you can make an agreement with another soul that, and this can be somebody that you were with in another lifetime before. This can be someone new, okay? Making an agreement to incarnate together and come into each other's lives and teach each other something that contributes towards your soul growth, even if it's painful. I know. It's like, well, what do you mean? This person really hurt me. What do you mean it's contributing to my growth? Everything that happens that's for our feeling good or feeling painful, it's all about teaching us how to love ourselves. At the end of the day, even the lessons that are the most painful teach you about self-love and are asking you to step up your self-love. So it's all about that. So we come into our lives to help expand our consciousness, teach us about loving ourselves, and teach us about knowing what it is we really want and what we're here to do. So that's that. Another contract can be when you're with somebody in another life. And you make a contract, you speak a word with a relationship in another life. And like, for example, say you are, I'm just going to give an example, like you had a previous life in medieval times and you had a relationship and the two of you were forced to be apart. Maybe your families were feuding, maybe for some reason you were socioeconomically not the same at that time and they had cultural rules about that. You couldn't be together and you looked at each other and said, I will never leave you. So some statement like that in another life could mean that creates some sort of a soul contract or a karmic contract that you're going to keep playing out in future lifetimes. Okay. And not only can you do that, or you might say, it could be, I'll never leave you, or it could be, I will always be by your side. I will always be there to support you. It can be good or bad. Like it can be positive or negative. It's, you could say to somebody that it can, and you can find this with money, anything, love, money, anything that you could say in a previous lifetime. I don't want this money. It's like blood money, if to say like in an old medieval time, and I don't want anything to do with it. It brings me evil. Well, then in future lifetimes, you might be working out this contract or this, some call it a vow, that you made to reject money. And you're still dealing with the fallout today. So you can do that with a person. You can make some sort of a verbal agreement. You could also do it by yourself as a thought. You could think to yourself, that you, and what can I think that, oh my gosh, and I always attract, relationships that hurt me and I'm never going to find the one. You could say that to yourself, and then you could constantly be dealing with that thought, that limiting belief in lifetimes to come. And that can be with family too. With children, you can have any of these contracts that play out in those ways. So know that that's how it happens. That's how these soul contracts come to be. Now, I think everybody that we come across is some sort of a soul contract. Like it may not be a promise or a vow or something that affects you or holds you back. It just might be that someone is agreeing to come into your life and be that checkout person at the store who gives you an uplifting word right when you need it. Maybe that's just it, like who knows what those contracts are. But just know, first of all, to take the emotion out of the energetic tie that you have with somebody, have the conscious thought that you are here to teach each other something. This person was teaching you something. Even if you're still, I know it's hard when you're grieving and there's loss and you're upset and you're pissed off or you're hurt, but know that, okay, this relationship is teaching me something about self-love. If you look at it that way, then it takes your focus off of the other person. The energetic cord remains strong because our focus is on that person still. And the focus is on the relationship and kind of keeping like, I'm missing that person. I'm thinking about them. Doesn't mean you can't think about them. Doesn't mean you can't miss them. There's a grieving process that has to happen, and that's normal. It's when that process, the grieving or the attachment, gets in the way of you living your ordinary life, where you feel like you're nuts, or you feel like it's getting in the way of you being in another relationship. Maybe you're projecting the problems of that relationship onto your current, or maybe you're afraid to enter into another relationship. You're holding yourself back. Maybe, or you're thinking of that person so obsessively that you can't get anything else done. So that's when it becomes something that you really need to look at deeper. Again, nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. It means, okay, so what is going on here? So when we think of that person, it's like energy, law of attraction, the way you came together in the first place. Like attracts like. You're attracting the person on the vibration that you're at. And so that's how you come together. And every time you focus on that person, it just renews that cord, right? Like, doesn't it seem like when we focus on something in our lives, we get more of it? So if you focus on missing that person, you focus on analyzing the relationship, you get more of that missing, that yearning, that energy. And so stepping back and saying, okay, first of all, this relationship, that person was brought to me to teach me something. I was brought to that person to teach them something. And at this point, if the relationship is over, the lesson is over right now. So it's back to teaching me about self-love. How do I then love myself? That person, the pain from this relationship is asking me to look at how can I love myself better? And where do I need to love myself better? So with that, that's one thing you can do to break that energetic tie. You can look at it, shift your thinking. So it's not about what do I need to do to get that person back? What do I need to do? Why did they leave me? Like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to find anyone. It's more, how can I better love myself through this? Because that's the lesson I need to learn. This is for my consciousness. It's for your greater good. Even though it sucks right now, it's for your greater good. Know this too, though. Here's where it gets really tough, though. I'm gonna say this because it's true, and it's not that simple sometimes, especially when you are physically intimate with somebody. Okay, so sometimes that shift in perspective can work for friendships, family, other things, coworkers, easy enough. When it comes to somebody who was an ex-lover, you had a physical, sexual relationship with, that's harder. And why? Because you shared energetic space. You're not just in each other's energy, meaning you put out a vibration, you attracted that vibration to you. You're actually merging your vibrations to be one. So I know I think it's some like Tantra or Kundalini theory that I think it was Yogi Bhajan who had said that, when two people have sex, their auras merge. They're literally becoming one and forming a third etheric body, a third energetic body that is them together. There's each of them, and then there's one together. And for women, they can even get like some sort of it can be stuck energy right here. He was saying like in your chest, between like the breastbones. Like it can be like energy that can stay there, and that can be, it can be an attachment that sits. And you can feel that, and you can tap into it, and it's not always easily just let go of. So when you do that, you are sharing energy, you're taking on their energy, and it's not always easy to just break it. And especially if you have a really strong, like really good, strong physical connection, like you have someone like a really good, like then you can feel it. I mean, even if you saw that person probably 30 years later, what's the first thing you're going to think of when you see them? Like. And then that energy cord is reattached, because you're like, whoa, like, you might be not together, far apart, like whatever, it's done. But then you have that energetic cord, you have that memory, you shared energy, and it doesn't always just go away. So know that, and even if you have like a really, really strong physical relationship, you kind of imprint on each other. And I think this is strong. This tends to be a little stronger with women, like forming that imprint. And you feel like think of it, you're in the moment with somebody, you're in the highest vibration, which is giving your full energy to the present moment. You're in joyful bliss. That's our true nature. So you're sharing like your true authentic nature with somebody else. And that's pretty fucking intense. That's pretty intense. And it's not just easily. And then after, it's like you're in that afterglow of it, and it lingers. So sometimes it's hard to break that attachment. And, where other relationships, maybe you didn't have that a strong of a connection in that way. So it's more when you feel that indifference towards another relationship, you can tell. Some past relationships, you might feel kind of indifferent, like, yeah, that happened. Okay. It happened. We moved on. Others though, that have a really strong sexual or emotional imprint on you, it's harder to get past those. And I think also, so that I forgot to say, not only the strong physical imprint, but a strong emotional experience. Could be good, could be bad, could be a mixture of both. When you have a strong emotional experience in a relationship, especially empaths, it's like imprinted, it's like there. It's hard to just forget about it and detach from it. It lingers. And it's hard to process sometimes. So you can do all of the typical energy cleansing rituals. You can do the cord cutting, and cord cutting can mean a million different things. And if you Googled cord cutting ceremonies, you would get a ton. And you can do whatever feels right for you. You visualize the energetic cord between you and that other person, and like golden scissors or whatever scissors you want to visualize cutting through the cords. You can do that. You can pray to Archangel Michael to take his sword and cut the cords. You can visualize, physically detaching cords from yourself, like it's a sci-fi movie, all the cords coming out of you. You can do that. You can do a deep meditation, where you visualize the cords dissipating and you feel strong and you feel confident and you feel released. Or you can visualize yourself and that other person having a really good conversation where I release you, from this energetic tie, and you release me. We give our energy back to each other. And you can do all those things. You can take the salt baths. You can sage yourself. You can say affirmations, looking in the mirror and saying affirmations. My energy is mine and mine only. I am free and clear from all energetic attachments. Like, you can do all those things. Sometimes when you do all of that, right, you do all of that and you still feel that attachment. I can't shake my ex, or I keep on, it keeps happening, or it keeps coming up, or we keep talking, whatever. Then you have to ask yourself, what do I need to look into a little deeper? A soul contract. You can do an Akashic Records reading. You can talk to me about that. I'm an Akashic Records reader. You can go into your past life records, see if there were any vows made or any contracts made, and do the rituals to release them. You can release them. You can do that. But a soul contract is not going to get in your way to the point where you can't function. That's what I want people to understand. If you become obsessed, if you become like where you can't even get through your normal day, your emotions up to highs and lows are so strong, or your fear or your doubt is so strong that you can't even, you have a hard time going through the day without major anxiety or depression or fear or doing any of that. Or then I would say, now I'm not thinking that's a soul contract anymore. And if you're calling it a soul contract, yeah, the soul contract with that person is so strong, I just can't shake it. No, because spirit is not going to create something that tortures you. That's not coming from spirit. If you're constantly feeling like shit, you're feeling scared, sad, depressed, anxious, you're feeling like you're being taken advantage of, you feel like you're being abused, you feel like you're at the mercy of somebody, like somebody has power over you, that ain't spirit, okay? It's not a soul contract, because a soul contract is a simple lesson. That's it. And you may still be learning the lesson. You may come back to this person a few times in your life and learn together, but it's not going to render you helpless in your life. That's not what it's designed to do. They're two souls that agreed to do something in this lifetime. So the lesson then becomes on you. If you're feeling like you can't function, that's no longer the soul contract. That's your own contract with you. That means it is your lesson to learn with you. It's time to look at the shadow work. That becomes the shadow. That becomes what did this relationship, what pain points did this relationship hit within me that is unhealed? That could be an abandonment wound, most likely coming from you when you were a young child or maybe even teenager. Abandonment. That could be a rejection wound. That could be a self-worth issue or a self-worth question. That could be an attachment. Maybe in your childhood, you may have formed unhealthy attachments because you didn't have someone around you to help you form healthy attachments in your life. And that's not your fault. You're not broken. It's just that some circumstances, that's the way it was, where families just didn't, or a little dysfunctional. And you may have learned unhealthy attachment coping strategies. And they're showing up. It's not a soul contract. It's an unhealthy attachment. And that is also more shadow work. So that's what needs to be done. So what does that person represent that is painful to you? And it's not necessarily about that person anymore. It's about what is that wound that needs healing? What part of me needs to be seen and heard and acknowledged and validated and healed? And you can do that all by yourself. You don't need the other person. You don't need that relationship. Because the fact of the matter is, here's the bottom line with any of this spiritual stuff, you have the power to control everything about it. You absolutely do at any given moment. You don't have to sage, you don't have to cleanse, you don't have to cord cut. You can, and if that helps you do it and feel better and feel free, some people do those and they're like, or you do a past life regression or an Akashic records reading. I love those anyway, but that's why I am a reader of that, because I think it's so healing on so many other levels, and it's easy to coach people in their Akashic records. It's really powerful. But is it a must? Like, am I going to sit here and tell you you have to have all this stuff done in order to free yourself? Hell no. You can declare this soul contract is done. That's it. I am no longer going to be attached energetically to that person anymore. I am going to focus on raising my vibration, my love, my joy. I am going to learn whatever it is I need to learn, whether it's making healthy attachments, whether it's learning my self-worth, whether it's learning about, not fearing intimacy or not fearing abandonment or any of those things, right? It could be fear of intimacy because you witnessed like really unhealthy relationships growing up. So many reasons. There could be so many things that you're committed to learning that. And that's the route I'm going to go. And I release that person. You're done. Like, you're friggin' done. That's all you really have to do. And if you say easier said than done, I feel you. And that means there's still some wounds to heal. And I love you for that. There's nothing wrong with you. That sometimes it takes work and it takes practice. And that's where the grace and the space comes in. That's one of my favorite sayings with my coaching clients, that give yourself grace and space. Grace to make mistakes, but there are no mistakes because spirit doesn't make mistakes. You're just learning, right? Grace to have this process be as long as it needs to be. Grace to trust yourself in the process through the highs and lows. Grace to receive whatever messages come to you, even if they're freaking painful as hell, because self-awareness sometimes is not fun. Increasing your self-awareness and healing sometimes is painful and ugly, but the end result is beauty. Because you get to step into your own greatness, your own power. You get to be your authentic self, and you don't feel like you're under anyone else's control. You're not under control of soul contracts. You're not under control of some other relationship. And you're free to enter into love with an open heart and an open mind and just enthusiasm and love. And you know that no matter what happens in the relationship, that you're going to be okay. You've been through it. You've gone through it. You've done some healing. You've healed your masculine. You've healed your feminine. It's another thing you can look at. Where is your divine masculine or divine feminine energy wounded in some way? It's our own healing journey. So just know all of that you can do this and you can release those attachments to your exes. It's always coming back to ourselves. Because when we're feeling like we're strong within ourselves, we don't get freaked out when our ex texts us and go, hey, babe, like, want a booty call, or hey, babe, want to chat, or whatever. You're like, either, yeah, it works for me, I'll booty call and then boot you out, and I'm not going to be attached to you. Or you just say, no, you know what, that's not for me, because I know that's not towards my highest good. I'm okay. Thanks, man, though. Like, you can have that power to do so. And then you can be free to love. And you can be free to love openly. And you can love your life, you can love yourself, you can love other people, and you can love the process. And it feels really good, and it feels really free. So that's what I have for you today. And trust me, I say this as someone who has been there, done that more than once, and I'm still doing it, right? I'm still doing it, even though I've come a long way. And I'm very blessed right now. It's not over. So love yourself through it and know that it's all normal. You're not crazy. You're not crazy, and you're not beyond repair. It's all part of this. So I love you all so much, and I hope this was helpful to you. If you found it was helpful for you, and there might be someone else who is hurting or feeling really attached to an ex and doesn't know how to get out of that, or how to, really get out of it, share this video, tag them, invite them to my group, The Empowered Empath Woman, learning how to reclaim your own gifts and your own power, because really that's the only way to live a life of true freedom. True freedom, fulfillment, and happiness is to know who you are, what you want, and know that you're absolutely here to experience the present moment. Your highest vibration is in the present moment, in the places of joy and happiness that you can. And whatever comes to you that's not so pleasant, it's okay. Trust the process. You have to learn something, and it's okay to do that. Okay, it's okay to do that. So know that. All right, soul contracts are not here to torture you and haunt you. You have power over them. And you can absolutely break that. It's time to go inward and look. If you go to my group, Empowered Empath Woman, there is a mini class on shadow work. So if you're curious about what the hell is this shadow work and how can it help me, come and check that out. And if you still feel like you want to know more, then talk to me directly, because this is something, I have a course that helps people with this, to release attachments and release trauma. I have sessions that I can do to help you do that, whether it's coaching or reading sessions, healing sessions. There's so many options for you right now, whether it's with me or another healer, or, because you can do this yourself. But if you feel like you can't yet, then that's awesome. Then find someone to help you through the process. You don't have to do it alone if you feel like that's not possible right now. Does the power exist within you? Hell yeah, it does. But sometimes we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And it's not that simple. So you have plenty of people in the world who can help you and who would love to help you and want to see you absolutely frickin' shine like the radiant light that you are. All right, so you are all amazing. If you want to get a free, I think it's 5-day empath evolution experience that talks about how to be your best self as an empath, go to jenrapinian.com and go ahead and sign up, put your name and email in there, and you will get the access to this mini program on how to get to know yourself as an empath and how to feel more empowered. All right. So with that, any questions, drop them, let me know, message me, I'm here for you, and you have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. You are so beautiful and powerful, always.